Yeah, good morning, folks. Listen, I'm sorry about the lighting in here this morning. You couldn't see buttons because it was too dark, and I didn't want to wake him up too much, and Mum's still asleep, so I'm trying to keep this quiet, and I'm going to get a growling today from my daughter, my oldest one, because I'm not supposed to talk about my family. But I've wanted to tell this story for a long time, and I think I was lying in bed there, and I got a mate, you see, and my mate's called Jesus, and I've known him for about 35, 40 years now. Good bloke. Him and I have a lot of fun together. We talk away together and that. And I was lying in bed and I couldn't sleep. And I said to Jesus, I said, I can't sleep. He said, well, get out of bed and tell your story. And I said, but I'll get a growling. Kerry will growl me if I tell the story. I don't want to embarrass my mother, her mother, But no, he said, the time is right. It's the time you told that story, Ron. You've been trying to tell it for years. Okay? The church wouldn't let you tell it. So here's your opportunity. You've got all the tools now. Tell the story. So here is my story, folks. My story is called Commitment. Can you see me okay? I can't see you without these. I have to wear these, and they shine on the light a bit. But never mind. Turn that around there. Wait on. No, it doesn't make any difference. Never mind. Here I am. Now the story goes like this. When I was 23 years of age, I was a sheep shearer in the North Island. Lived in the North Island with my parents, and Dad said, why don't you go down to Central Otago and shear sheep down there, in the winter time? So I took off, I bought a new car and I went away down there to Alexandra. I knew one guy, Murray McSkimming, bloody good shearer. I met him at the Golden Shears when I used to shear up there, you see. And he's the only one I knew in the South Island. Anyway, I came down to the South Island and I did a bit of shearing in Ashburton before heading to Alexandra. And I was in the pub one night, the bottom pub. There's 3 pubs in Alexandra, the top, the middle and the bottom. And I was down the bottom pub. And Murray was there, you see. And it was New Year's Eve. And I said to Murray, who's that chick over there? He said, oh, it's my sister, Margaret. Ooh, I said, she's nice, isn't she? Oh, yes, he said, she's engaged to be married. Oh. So I went over and chatted up Margaret, and I said, what's with the rings on the fingers? And she said, oh, are you married? And she said, no, I'm divorced, but I'm getting married. I'm marrying a policeman. Oh, okay. So we got chatting, and I took her home. I said, well, I'll give you a ride home, And the next day, I give her another ride home, and I kept going out with her. And this is Christmas time. This is New Year, right? And anyway, one day we were in the park, sitting under the tree, the blue gum tree down there in Alexandra. And she said to me, Ron, I got some news for you. And I said, what's that? She said, I'm pregnant. I said, you're joking. She said, yes, I'm pregnant. I went to the doctor and he said, I'm pregnant. Holy smoke, I said, well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll go back to North Island, tidy up a few things, and I'll come down when the baby's born. Oh, no, I don't want you to do that. I want you to stay. So anyway, I thought, holy hell. And we went up to Cromwell, and she had 2 boys, Michael and Gary, and cheeky little buggers too. They used to pull their hairs under my arms, But anyway, we went up to Cromwell, and I was pushing them on the swings and that, as you do. And then I went home, took Margaret home, dropped them off at Nana's place. They lived in Clyde, you see. And I said to Margaret, that's it, I'm going back up to North Island. Give me a ring when the baby's born. Well, I got in the car, and these 2 little boys came running out of the house. And they came up to the window of my car, and they said, Mum, she's crying. She doesn't want you to go. She's crying. And I thought, oh, Jesus, I can't leave this woman like this and like these little boys. So I went inside. I gave her a cuddle, and I said, listen, Margaret, I'm not that mean. We'll get married. If that's the story, if you're pregnant, we'll get married, okay? And we'll get married on Saturday. And I didn't know what Saturday was, but it turned out to be the 29th of February. when we decided to get married. So we shot down to the jeweller's shop and got the ring. And here I am, I'm going to marry this woman that's been engaged to another guy, you see. Got to do it in a hurry, because we don't want anybody to know, you see, that she's pregnant. So anyway, I'm sitting, we were sharing up at Mount Nicholas, that's on the other side of the lakes, the Queenstown. And these buggers, we had a bit of a stressful one night, and I put my back out, some of these shearers. I put my back out, and I was in the Clyde Hospital. Pain, geez, terrible. And I'm lying there, and Margaret kept coming in to see me, you see. We were married, and I said to her, where's the baby? You know, when's you having the baby? The time must be up. It takes 9 months to have a baby, and you still haven't got the baby. She said, oh, it'll come when it's ready. So anyway, it turned out the bloody thing never come till 11 months later, right? And the doctor rang me up one day and said, you got a baby daughter. Oh, right. Anyway, and I thought, what do I do? And I looked at these boys, and I thought, I've got to stick it out. And I made a commitment. I said to myself, bugger it. There were so many marriages breaking up all around us, and I thought, I don't want to be like that. I don't want to have a broken marriage. I only want one wife. And Margaret's quite nice. I quite like her. And I made a commitment. I said, it doesn't matter what happens, I'll never leave you. We're going to go through some rough times, but I'll never, ever leave you. Anyway, these boys were called Kennedy. Their father was Kennedy, you see. And all these bloody kids used to call them Kennedy. And I said, no, I'm getting out of Alexandra. I don't want my bloody kids to be called Kennedy. So we shifted up to Alexandra, to Ashburton, and I got a job shearing up there. And I took these two boys, Carrie and Michael, I took them down to the courthouse, and I said to the judge, I said, I want to adopt these two boys. So we did the formalities, I adopted the boys, I took them home, I sat them down in the lounge, and I said, listen fellas, I don't know where the bloody hell your dad is, he's gone. But from now on, I'm your dad. Something special happened today. I adopted you. You now belong to me. Okay? And from now on, you call me Dad. Okay? So they did. They called me Dad, and we have a great relationship. We're all old now, but it's been a wonderful relationship. Okay? And I'm telling you this story because it happens so often in so many families, okay? The man finds he's got the woman pregnant and what the hell do they do and all this sort of thing, you know? And I thought, well, I want to tell this story, and I tried for years to tell my story in the church because I wanted to tell the church, you see. But they wouldn't ever let me get on the stage. I shot my brother when I was 16 years of age, and they didn't like that. I wasn't allowed to tell people I'd shot my brother, you know. And I've had a life which is pretty rough, you know. But it's so is everybody else. Everybody's had a bloody rough life, you know. And the healing sometimes is in the telling of the story. If we can tell our story and to someone else, and they realise they're not the only person that's had this same situation. And can you imagine how many men there are around the bloody countryside that have got women pregnant, and the whole thing's blown apart? Well, I made a commitment, see. I said to myself, and I said to this bloke, Jesus, I didn't know him at the time, but I do know him now because I met him out when I had my mental breakdown, right? Because I had a mental breakdown, and I had to bloody call on him to give me a hand. And so I did, and we become great mates. And I've been mates with Jesus for now 35 odd years, you know. I don't go to church. I used to go to church, but Mum wouldn't come with me, you see. And I got sick of sitting there by myself. So anyway, here I am. So what's the time? 4 o'clock in the morning. And I'm here telling the story. And this is going online all around the world, and I want people to hear it. Okay? So listen, I'm just going to finish my Milo. I'll be back in a minute. See this? Buttons and Bow. This is Margaret's 2 kittens. 2 cats. Buttons and Bow. This is her birthday present. She's going to be 80 on Friday. And I'm going to put this in a frame and I'm going to give this to her. Buttons is on the right hand side. He's the neighbour's cat, but he sleeps over here most nights. And Bo's the little fella on the left hand side I bought for her just recently. She loves these cats. So this is going to be her present, you know. This is going to be her present. And it's going to be in a frame. And we're going to have a big party on Friday. Friday they're coming from around the bloody world. Some of them, I don't know who's coming because my daughter won't give me the list. Because some of our family don't talk to each other. We've had big rows and that. And some don't talk. And we don't know which ones are going to come. We sent them an invitation. Everyone got an invitation, but we don't know who's going to come. Because some don't talk. And even some of our friends don't talk, you know. And we can't invite them because they didn't talk to them because they had a big row, you see. And this happens all the time around the world, doesn't it? That's why I'm telling this story. And my mate Jesus told me this morning to get out of bloody bed and tell the story. You see? So here I am telling my story. Okay? Now I've got to go. I don't want to keep you up all night. What's the time? 4:15. I'll get this loaded up, and I can come back and I'll tell you some more stories. Every morning I come online, I'm telling my life story. It's the true stories in the life of Ronnie B. That's what I've called it, okay? There's going to be books written on it, there's going to be a film made of it, the whole thing, you see? Because I'm going to be on telly and I'm going to become famous, right? Okay? Because I've got another mate and his name is Muhammad Ali, and he taught me how to be the greatest. And before he was, you see, he taught me how to be the greatest, and I'm the greatest. I'm the greatest motivational coach in the world. You've never heard a story like this in your life, have you? Because it's coming from the greatest motivational coach in the world. I got to go. I love you all. Hey, and listen, fellas, if you get her pregnant, marry the bitch. Or marry the girl. Sorry, not a bitch. But marry the girl, right? Make a commitment. You're going to be rough times, of course. Yeah. And adopt the boys, adopt the kids. Give them a father. Don't let kids run around with no father. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I love you all. See you in the morning. Don't forget to tune in. Ronnie B, Timaru, New Zealand. Okay? Bye.